All right, today we're going to decode the secret language of your body, those little warning signs of diabetes that so often get missed. And you know what's even more important is that we'll map out a clear path to not just manage the condition, but to potentially reverse it and totally reclaim your health. So think about it for a second. Long before any doctor gives you a diagnosis, your body is already sending out these subtle signals, that thirst that just won't go away, or that feeling of being tired all the time. They might seem random, right? But they're often just pieces of a much bigger puzzle. And today we're going to learn how to put those pieces together. So here's the deal for this explainer. We're going to lay out the 10 critical red flags you really can't afford to ignore. And crucially, we'll reveal a simple 2-step plan that studies are showing can lead to long-term remission. And yeah, you heard me right, remission. It's actually achievable. Okay, but before we can spot the problem, we've got to understand the system, right? So let's do a quick dive into your body's amazing fuel system and see how it's supposed to work when everything's running smoothly. The whole system runs on one main thing, glucose. Just think of it as the premium high-octane fuel for your body. Every single cell, especially in critical places like your brain and your heart, needs a steady stream of it just to keep the lights on. But here's the catch. That fuel can't just barge into your cells on its own. Nope. It needs a key. And that key is a hormone called insulin. Your pancreas makes it, and it basically acts like a doorman, unlocking each cell to let all that good glucose rush in. So the breakdown begins when the locks on those cell doors get, well, rusty. This is what we call insulin resistance. The cells just start ignoring the insulin key. So what's your body do? Well, the pancreas kicks into overdrive, pumping out more and more insulin, trying to force those doors open, but eventually it just gets exhausted. And the sugar, it has nowhere to go, so it just builds up in your blood. And that, my friends, is where the real trouble starts. That trouble doesn't stay quiet. It shows up as some pretty clear warning signs. So let's get into the 10 red flags that are telling you your fuel system is in trouble. We'll start with what doctors call the classic triad. Sign number 1, a thirst that you just can't seem to quench. Why does this happen? Well, your body is desperately trying to flush out all that extra sugar floating around in your blood. And to do that, it starts pulling water from your tissues, leaving you seriously dehydrated and feeling thirsty all the time. And all that flushing leads directly to sign number 2, frequent urination. Your kidneys are working overtime, filtering out all that glucose and dumping it into your urine. But sugar is like a sponge. It pulls water right along with it, which means you're losing a huge amount of fluid and running to the bathroom constantly. Now here's the great paradox of this whole thing. Your blood is totally full of fuel, but your cells are literally starving because they can't get to it. So they start sending these frantic SOS signals to your brain, basically screaming, "Feed us." And the result is sign number 3, this intense constant hunger, even if you just ate a big meal. Okay, so beyond that classic trio, a whole cascade of other symptoms can pop up. And as you look at this list, notice how they all come from the same root cause, that excess sugar is toxic. It acts like tiny shards of glass, damaging the small blood vessels and nerves all over your body. That's what leads to that deep, unexplained fatigue. Your cells are just starved for energy. It can cause blurry vision because the tiny vessels in your eyes are affected. You might feel that weird tingling in your hands and feet. That's nerve damage. Even your skin suffers with cuts that heal super slowly and a higher risk of infections because, well, bacteria just love a sugary environment. So we've seen the signs. We know the what. But what about the why? What's causing this whole chain reaction in the first place? Let's take a look at the main risk factors that really open the door to insulin resistance. You know, it really boils down to 3 main drivers. First, a sedentary lifestyle. I mean, when we don't move, our muscles don't really have a reason to pull sugar out of the blood. Second, excess body weight, which is hands down the single biggest factor in developing insulin resistance. And third, just getting older, as our bodies naturally become a little less efficient over the years. And if you think sedentary just means being a little lazy, think again. The World Health Organization has put out a really stark warning. The health damage from a sedentary lifestyle is now considered to be on par with the damage caused by smoking. Just let that sink in for a minute. Not moving enough is that dangerous. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution, and I really want you to listen here, because this is the most hopeful part of this whole explainer. This is not a story about an inevitable decline. It's a story about empowerment. The path to remission isn't just possible, it's surprisingly straightforward. It all boils down to two profoundly powerful actions. Step 1, move more. Get those muscles working so they start demanding that fuel from your blood again. And step 2, lose weight. This directly reverses insulin resistance right at the cellular level. These aren't just suggestions. They are a direct assault on the root cause of the problem. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at the data. Studies are showing that with dedicated lifestyle changes, a staggering 98% of patients can achieve long-term remission. Let me say that again, 98%. We're not talking about just managing symptoms here. We are talking about actually reversing the condition. And to put that in perspective, think about something like bariatric surgery. It's a huge intervention and it leads to an incredible 80 to 90% remission rate, all because of the weight loss it causes. Now, look back at the potential of lifestyle changes. The power to achieve the exact same or maybe even better results is right there for the taking. No surgery required. So here's the bottom line. Don't wait for the complications. Don't wait for the damage to become permanent. The power to change your future health isn't in some pill or procedure down the road. It's in the small choices you make, starting right now, today. Your health is in your hands. The only real question is, what's your first step going to be? Dear friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss new useful videos. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer. Stay healthy.